we start with the sphere again, as always, and this sphere will have symmetry. No, symmetry, of course, but we are always using our symmetrical symmetry in X, because you see the difference between the sculptor, real sculptor, and the sculptor from AliExpress is that the sculptor from AliExpress, which is me, is using symmetry, and the real sculptor from with clay is using nothing like that. He's just more tough and overall better quality sculptor. But I'm pretty happy with what I am, and I know that I'm not a real sculptor, so it's fine. I am in peace with what I am. Whatever. The thing is that we are doing this sculpt here, which is the same as we are doing every other time. Of course, this is a little bit of a different orc head made with AI, obviously. So most of you will just go away at this point and say, we don't want this AI slop anymore. But you see, the work that I'm doing here with this concept is not AI. I am not AI. And so that's probably worth, I don't know. I'm not completely sure, but whatever. So recently, the main news around the media is that Donald Trump will be impeached in just this year. Yeah, nobody knows yet, but I guess that he will not live to be the president after the elections, after the midterm elections in the United States. If you don't know what the midterm elections are, I also don't know. but I guess they're choosing the Senate or something like this, and then the majority of the Trump party, which is the Republicans, for example, they will just not be a majority anymore, and most likely he will be impeached for his actions. What are his actions? Attacking sovereign countries, like without the approval of Congress, for example. It's one of the things, of course. Very, very good thing. Very interesting thing. By the way, let's talk about Iran. Iran is not an Arabic country. It's interesting, right? Yeah, many people probably think that Iran is an Arabic country, but Arabic countries are the countries that people are speaking Arabic in. For example, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and many, many other countries. But Iran is not exactly that. It's a Persian country, which like 60-65% of the population is Persians, actually. And they are speaking Farsi, which is the Persian language. And this language is, I think the alphabet is similar to Arabic alphabet, but it's the language itself is pretty different. The AI told me that the language difference between Arabic and Farsi is similar to the difference between Russian and English. So it's pretty much different language. Very different. So I know some Russian, I know some English, so I know. So what are we talking about here? A few days ago, I was watching a Russian girl traveling to Iran a couple of months ago, so before the war. She was traveling to Iran, and I saw the whole clip. The people there are super friendly. They're very like smiling all the time. I felt very, very sad about what's happening to them right now. And it's always people that are suffering. Of course, they killed the leader of Iran, yeah, obviously. Or, at least, everybody said they killed him. But, you know, you can always think that he's hiding somewhere in some underground bunker, watching the news, and kind of giggling because his death was something like, made him something like a martyr. So people will look up to him and say, yeah, he died for his beliefs and everything. And in this, they can fight even more with the United States and Israel and everybody. Somebody will ask, why United States attacked Israel? There are many reasons for that. The main reason is that the Israel lobby in United States, not only Netanyahu, but other people close to Trump, is pretty strong. So it was inevitable. There were some people who were predicting this attack 2 years ago. They said if Trump becomes a president, most likely he will attack Iran in his term. So it was predicted. I didn't know that, but I saw some videos from 2 years ago, and this guy, it was predicting it. A pretty interesting guy, actually. He's a Chinese guy, a professor, I think, of game theory or something. So he's probably, if somebody is interested, I will tell him more about this guy, his channel. But he's predicting also that he was even then predicting that United States will lose this war, completely lose this war, in a similar way they lost the war in Vietnam. The thing is that here, the United States probably will lose this war even without putting troops on the ground. They cannot, he said, put troops on the ground because the ground in Iran is mostly mountains, which makes it extremely difficult to make supply routes for your army, and it's not the best country to invade. So they are just bombing for now. The thing is that how United States and Israel is different from Russia in this matter. I mean, Russia is bombing civilians, is bombing Ukraine, is bombing towns, is bombing infrastructure, is bombing electrical power plants and everything. I don't see the difference between United States and Russia in this matter at all. There is no difference in my opinion. They're completely like twins. They're doing exactly the same things. And again, the population, which are very nice and amazing people, I assume, in Iran, is paying the price. Yeah, I don't want to take sides here, but it's always kind of fair to take the side of the guy who was attacked. You know, I haven't seen Iran attack anybody, although we all know that there are a pretty big and kind of rich country. Not the people are rich, the rulers are rich, which are supporting some terrorist organizations against Israel. And we all know that Israel and Iran are not the best friends. They have never been the best friends ever. They're probably one of the best friends, but not the best, we may say. So, yeah. Interesting stuff is going on. Of course, not for the people who are involved, especially in the cities, in the big cities of Iran. Normal people, normal clean cities. By the way, Tehran, which is the capital of Iran, is one of the biggest cities in the world, even, with around 14 million people, I think, at least. Maybe I'm wrong, but let's assume that's the case. So a lot of people, kind of modern city. It's not super modern because of the religion and all the religion restrictions, like the hijab for the women and everything. But is this good enough to attack a country? Again, it's not about that. It's not about that at all. It's about other things and interests beyond our comprehension. But still, is it illegal to attack a sovereign country like that out of nothing without any kind of a pretext? I guess not anymore. Russia has done it. United States has done it couple of times already in this year. Just, Venezuela and Iran. And Trump is begging for the peace prize to be given to him, which is absolutely absurd. It's so absurd that I just can't even comprehend it. It's just so much. It's like Putin to say, I want the peace prize. What is happening here? Or like Netanyahu to say, I want the peace prize. Those people that are the biggest warmongers to want the peace prize, and obviously Trump is the biggest of them, it turns out to be. Although, yeah, not so many people have died yet in this war compared to the Ukraine war. The Ukraine war is like, of course, the biggest one, probably this century, in the 21st century. Sternocleidomastoid muscle. You see how I'm turning from politics to anatomy. Politics and anatomy are not similar at all. But you can think that they're similar, and you will be completely wrong. They don't have anything in common. By the way, the title of this video is another boring old sculpt. That's why not many people will come to see it, which is fine by me, because you cannot have like 100 or more viewers every time. You sometimes needs a little bit like smaller audience with less people, but more quality. Is it? Nobody knows. So, am I gonna be able to make this particular orc the same as the concept? The answer is completely no. But I'm gonna be making it similar to the concept. Why am I not gonna be able to make it? I tried. Just 1 hour ago I tried and I failed, so I think that I will fail again. But I made it similar, so I guess it's fine. I just wanted to, you see, I just wanted to brag about the war in Iran. That's the thing. Last time I couldn't because I didn't have too much information. Now I have some information about that, and yeah, I will tell you more about it because I know that you are just struggling. You want to hear it. You want to hear about the war in Iran and what will happen. So, imagine this. Iran is attacking also the Gulf countries. So it's attacking Dubai, it's attacking United Emirates, it's also attacking them economically by not letting them sell their petrol with the tankers, which is a completely normal thing. You are attacked, you want to inflict as much damage to everybody else. Although they are not directly attacking you, but you see, the Gulf countries, they have American bases. I think in the Arab Peninsula, Americans have a couple of tens of thousands troops, so a lot of troops there. They cannot protect the ships that are sailing through the... what was this canal there? That's, I don't know the name of it, but they are closing it and ships cannot sail. So all the countries there, the Kuwait and Qatar and Dubai, and nobody can sell their oil internationally. So it's bad for everybody because oil in the where we are charging our cars is starting to go up, and when oil gets up means transportation gets more expensive. When this happens, everything gets more expensive, which is not a good timing because everything is actually getting more expensive even without this. So I guess it's gonna be just like amazing, but it's not a huge problem. The idea is that we will have to just stop eating Javier, or what was this? The very expensive foods. We have to stop them. We have to eat only bread and butter. Even butter will be probably too expensive, so maybe just bread and some oil on top. Yeah, when I was younger, we were in a very bad position. I mean, my country was super poor, and everybody was very poor in my country. We had huge inflation in the 90s, a lot of crime, and it was interesting times. But the idea is that I was eating mostly bread, and also with the bread I was eating sometimes with margarine, which is pretty healthy, as you know. Nowadays we all know that margarine is one of the healthiest food because it's super trans fat, and it's amazing for your arteries. It's just gonna kill you super fast. But back in the day we didn't know that. We had margarine, it was cheap, we were buying it in bulk, and we were eating a lot of it, and also bread. But sometimes we didn't have even margarine because it's actually not that cheap. It's kind of cheap, but not super. And we were putting sunflower oil on top of the bread slices. So slicing the bread, sunflower oil on top, and then a little bit of red pepper and salt. Amazing stuff. Of course, it doesn't fill your need of your daily protein. There is no protein in this at all, so only carbohydrates. And nowadays protein is everything. You say, oh, protein. I had like probably week when I was younger without eating any protein, and I'm still here. So protein is a little bit like I'm sure that the industries that are making food, the food industries, they are pretty powerful, and they want you to buy their protein shakes, their protein bars, and that's why they are paying for researchers to or influencers, especially in YouTube, to say protein is the best, and you have to eat 1.5 gram of protein for every kilogram you weight, which is I think it's absolute bullshit, but everybody can think with their own head. For me, it's a bullshit. For I'm even training, and I'm not like I'm 100 kilograms. Every day I eat maybe about 50 grams of protein at most, and I'm still gaining muscle. See, it's not completely bad, right? So it probably depends on the person, but overall, I'm pretty sure that this is a little bit of a scam. Yeah, protein is important, but especially protein from steak is even bad for you. It could be. So if you want to get protein, get it from vegetable sources if you can. Some people say eggs and steak are healthy and everything is fine. Yeah, you have to check your sources, and you have to check a little bit more. It's not exactly that healthy. But we were eating meat. I mean, humanity was eating meat for like 2 million years ago or whatever. Yeah, but it doesn't mean that it's healthy, you know. Because if you want longevity, if you want to live longer, if you want to be healthy for longer, there are researchers that are showing that vegetarians are actually prone to live a little bit longer than those who are eating meat, which is, I mean, and probably healthier. I'm not saying I'm vegetarian. I like my steak sometimes, but not every day. I'm not eating meat every day at all. And not because I don't, I feel like it's unhealthy or something, although it probably is, because I just don't feel like it. I don't feel like eating meat every day. Eat meat every day. It's, yeah. Okay, 20 minutes, and I mentioned Trump only like a couple of times. It's just a record, you know. I hate this guy so much. It's, yeah, it's personal a little bit, because maybe because he's lying so much. I mean, yeah, politicians lie and everything, but he's lying so much. I just cannot help it. I'm so against lying that when he speaks, I know that he's lying all the time for everything. So now, even if he said whatever he say in television, I'm always like, okay, let's take this with a ton of salt, not a grain of salt. It's like a truck of salt, because it's always he's inventing stuff, he's fantasizing about stuff. He has stopped 8 wars. Which wars? Nobody knows. Between Azerbaijan and Armenia, of course, the most famous war that he has stopped. They're like, I don't know, 3,000-4,000 kilometers apart, but they were fighting like crazy, and he stopped this war. Azerbaijan and Armenia, the most famous war that I have stopped, even before it was started. And the rest of the wars I also stopped like that, even before they were started. Also, what he said was, very famously, if you elect me to be a president, I will stop the Ukraine war in just 24 hours. Yeah, he did that. We know that the Ukrainian war is no more. He stopped it completely. And yeah, I will be a priest president. I will stop all wars. Yes, oh, nice. And the war with Iran is not a war. It's a special military operation. Yeah. Putin style. Amazing stuff. I think he's in love with dictators. He likes Putin. He likes Netanyahu. Although Netanyahu, I'm not sure what kind of dictator he is, but probably he is. He loves even the North Korea guy. Amazing. Super good. What am I doing here? I don't have the concept for the body, actually, of this guy. But I will do something just because it will look a little bit better with something there, which is cool. Yesterday I was watching Arnold Classic in YouTube. And they have the classic division, which people are more lean, more beautiful looking. And they have the open division, where the people are just the mass monster guys. And the open division is very interesting to watch, actually, because those guys are just huge. At some point, you stop looking them as that huge, because there are only them on stage. You cannot compare it to anybody. So it's like huge guy, and you're like, okay, they look pretty normal to me. But because you don't have anything to compare them. Those guys are so huge and they're so lean. I cannot understand that. I mean, if I were to be that huge, I will probably have a lot of fat. I couldn't get so lean with them. But of course, they're using some steroids and other stuff. It's not clean. They're not clean, of course. It's not like that. But they shouldn't be, because it's for fun. Of course, their fun is mostly to die young, because many of those super mass monsters are dying pretty young, because steroids and growth hormone, they're not something that you have naturally in such huge quantities, and your organism is usually fighting back pretty hard. And they're having like huge hearts, huge livers, liver problems, huge heart failures and stuff like this. So from Iran to bodybuilding, right? Jumping from topic to topic, it's always been my thing. War never changes. Exactly, my friend. Skysers, it's the famous Fallout line. Yeah, I love you. Talk this. Artists should be wake up as well. It depends. I mean, everybody has their opinion. Some people say Iran deserved this because they were stockpiling weapons to attack Israel, to attack the other neighbors or whatever. Okay, you can think about that. Maybe it's true, but you see, United States is also stockpiling weapons. Believe me, let's let somebody attack them, because they may attack somebody else. I'm not sure. United States probably will never attack anybody. They are so peaceful country, but they could. So we might want to attack them first, right? but of course, when a country like United States is a hegemon, which means that it's the country that rules the whole region that they are. They were even, let's say 10 years ago, they were a world hegemon. They were the world's biggest power, and nobody 10 years ago was able to say anything to them. Nowadays, China, even Russia, maybe India at some point, are starting to get a little bit more like big and powerful. They cannot get bigger, of course, but they can get powerful. Russia actually is trying to get bigger, although it's the biggest country. It's trying to get bigger, which is beyond me. Why? Why are you trying to get bigger? But of course, this is a joke. They are not attacking Ukraine to gain territory that much. Maybe population, because the population of Russia is declining in the past years, but not territory, I guess. Not that much. It's not their main goal. Maybe the riches of the country, although they have a lot. But you see, yeah, I've talked about this. When you have a country like Ukraine, which has a lot of untapped petrol and gas things, and you are Russia, who is the main supplier of Germany and other European nations with gas and petrol, then you will be afraid that at some point, when Ukraine develops those petrol and gas things, they will overwhelm your supply, and either your petrol and gas will become cheaper, or they will start buying more from Ukraine and less from you. So this is a threat for your national security, and I kind of understand that. The bad thing is that in every military doctrine, doesn't matter if it's United States or Russia, the problem is that they always want to do this shock and awe strategy, which means that they're attacking civilians, infrastructure, hospitals, because this is making the population afraid, and they may rise and kind of ask for the end of the war, stuff like this, which didn't happen in Ukraine, probably will not happen in Iran. Especially because Iran is kind of religious country, and they killed their religious leader. So let's assume that somebody goes, some country bombards the Vatican and kills the Pope. Probably most Catholic countries will be a little bit mad, and maybe they will kind of want to make them pay. Make the guy who did this pay, or the country that did this pay. So maybe it's something similar with the America or the United States and Israel killing the Ayatollah, the guy who was in charge, the religious leader. Some of the people, especially the older ones, because the younger ones, they are not that religious, I know. In all the countries, even in like Egypt, I've been in Egypt, I've talked with some young people, they are not that religious, they don't care about that too much. They care about happiness, they care about working something and marrying somebody that they want, not somebody that they are installed by their families. Stuff like this. They're more worried about freedom, not religion. And religion is not exactly freedom, which is, we all know that. And let's assume that Iranians, especially the older ones, would want revenge. They would want to fight till the last man with Israel and United States. So how the United States will win this war? It's impossible actually to win this war for the United States. They cannot go into Iran with troops, because Iran is a mountainous country and supply lines and everything. It will be impossible. If you go there, it will be suicide for all the troops that you put there. Complete suicide. Also, Iran is a pretty big country in terms of population. They have around, I think, 19 million, 90 million people. So double Ukraine. Double Ukraine, but Ukraine is much easier country to invade. Ukraine is pretty much doesn't have mountains. Iran is the opposite. They have a lot of mountains. And in these mountains, they can hide drones, rockets, whatever they want. They can make ambushes. So you don't want actually to go there at all. And if Trump does this, drops troops in Iran, it will be a complete suicide for the troops and political suicide for Trump. So he will not do that. He's not that stupid. I mean, he is very stupid, but I guess not that stupid. But if you don't go with troops in a country, how do you supposed to win? You may say we won, like Trump at some point will go and say, we won Iran, they completely surrendered, although they didn't, and it will be over, I guess. It can happen. I believe that, because Trump is capable. It's very capable of doing that. We won everything. We are completely satisfied. We obliterated their rockets. We obliterated their nuclear program. Although I cannot think of a Muslim country outside NATO that have nuclear weapons. I'm thinking hard. Maybe only Turkey, but it's in NATO. So which country outside NATO have nuclear weapons? Muslim country. Pakistan, of course. Yeah. So there is a Muslim country that has nuclear weapons. Pakistan. Many people say Israel also has nuclear. I don't know. They can have, they cannot have. Nobody knows. It's a little bit of an unknown. But Pakistan, I think they have their nuclear power, like India. But India is not Muslim. So what I was asking myself is it possible for a Muslim country to have nuclear weapons? And probably it's possible, yes. But are Pakistan Sunni or they are Shia? Who knows? I don't know. They probably are Shia. No, Sunni, I guess, because most Arabs are Sunni, and Iran is mostly Shia. So they have a little bit of a differences between them. Not a little bit. I've read one book a couple of years ago. It was about Iran, or it was about Iraq or Afghanistan. I'm not sure. But it was about either Shia or Sunni. One of them were the more powerful military in this country. And they were killing, just making genocide and killing the others. Just going into their homes, shooting them, murdering them like crazy. It was like... And only then I heard about this kind of struggle that they have with each other. The Sunni and Shia. So I guess that's why the other Arab countries are against Iran, because they are the other type of Muslims. They don't support them. That's why, by the way. But Iran, you see, Iran can do so much damage if they want. They already did some damage, but they can do so much damage to the Gulf countries. It's just crazy. They have so many drones, and America and Israel are bombarding the rocket sites, which is fine. But the drone sites, they cannot handle. I mean, they have probably a lot of them in the mountains, hidden in some caves. You cannot do anything to them. You can bombard however you want, whatever you want. You will do nothing. And they can, with these drones, hit the Gulf countries, but not the skyscrapers or something. No, no, no. They don't want to do that. What they want to do, and they probably will at some point if they are pushed enough, is to hit the water supplies. So you see the Gulf countries, they have way more water needs than they have water. So they're desalinating water. They're basically taking salt water and desalinating in these plants. So there are a couple of plants desalinating water. If you hit each plant with a couple of drones, which are completely capable of doing, Iran is completely capable of doing that, what will happen? No water for the Gulf countries, which will be devastating for them. Of course, the same can be applied to Iran. Iran also don't have too much water, and if they are hit on their water supplies, they also will suffer. But Iran is not completely harmless at all. It's not. It's a big country. It's pretty rich in terms of they have money that they invested in military. They have a couple of 100,000 troops, at least. And it's gonna be very hard to invade or something. So it's, yeah. So I wanted to brag about this. That's why I'm saying that this stream will be boring, because I'm bragging about the war in Iran, which kind of is occupying the time in all the medias and everywhere. Everybody's talking about this instead of the Epstein files. Yeah. Epstein files are... I don't know what they're talking about, this Epstein files so much. I mean, Trump has done so many bad things that the Epstein files looks like something like regular that he's doing. Yeah. He's a really... Even Epstein, I think, said at some point... They say that he said. So whatever I'm saying here about the Iran, about the dietary stuff, about eating meat or not, is what I've heard, what I've read with many sources usually. But again, you cannot believe everything. Every influencer like me is saying. You have to check your facts if you really want to be sure about something. If you're interested in some fact, check it. So I haven't checked, but Epstein said, when he was alive, of course, that Trump is one of the worst human beings that he have ever met. And to hear that from Epstein is, I mean, wow. It's huge. And we chose Trump. We chose Trump to be our leader. And you will ask, but Nico, you're from Bulgaria. How have you chosen Trump? If I was American, when Trump was to be elected, I would probably vote for him instead of Kamala Harris. And that's why I say I chose Trump when there was voting for him. Because I didn't know, I haven't paid attention to his first term, that he's such a huge asshole and liar and hypocrite and just some kind of narcissistic psychopath, you know. I mean, I'm not that dissimilar to Trump in some regards, but at least I'm pretty honest. Usually, I don't lie. And that's how I'm different from Trump. Also, I'm a little bit younger, and I could probably beat him in every sport. Also in boxing, or just beat him. I could, and I would, if I have the chance. Which is like most people in the world right now would. What he's doing now for the world economy is he's ruining the world economy for the benefit of a couple of people like the Netanyahu and some other uh, Iran haters. These preventive strikes. Iran is making nuclear weapons and making supersonic weapons. They have supersonic weapons, but yeah, and they will probably strike us soon, so let's strike first. I guess the same, the Putin says the same. Ukraine was preparing to attack us, so we decided to attack first. Yeah. It's like I see a child, like 3-year-old child, playing in the playing somewhere, and I say, this child is planning to attack me, so I will attack first and go and kick it with all my power. It's almost the same, you know. But it's not the same because this child turns out to be dressed pitbull, dressed as a child. I kick it, and then it goes after me, and it bites me a lot, and I run, and I climb a tree, and I say, I won this this thing. Doesn't matter that I'm on the tree and the pitbull is barking from below. I won this. This is my win. That's why America actually lost the war in Vietnam. It's the same as you go to the casino. You go to the casino, never go to the casino, actually. Never go to any casino, actually. It's very bad for you. Because people, we are built in this way that we go to the casino and we say, okay, I will put 100 euro. I have 100 euro, I will put it here like 10 euro and here 10 euro, and yeah. Eventually you will lose all this 100 euro. But you will say, okay, I lost 100 euro, but if I stay for just like 1 hour more, I will at least get my 100 euro back, and then I will go. And you go and lose 100 euro more and more and more. You invest more and more, and the more you invest, the more you are invested in this, because you already put so much, like, of your mental power and your money, then you cannot go away unless you lose everything. That's how the Americans lost the war in Vietnam. They were investing in the beginning, little by little. At some point, everything starts to go like the opposite direction, and they continue to invest because they cannot say we lost. It's not politically nice, it's not anything, and so many people lost their lives because of this shit. Of course, similar, the war in Ukraine, although Russia probably can win this war. I hate to admit it, but yeah, Russia probably can win this one. But in what cost? The cost is already too huge for both sides. So there will be no clear winner there. Even if Ukraine kind of wins, if Russia goes back and stops the war, there is no winner in most wars. A lot of people die, and no winner. Although there was a winner in Second World War, it was United States. Yeah, they lost a lot of troops, but not nearly as much as the Soviet Union back then. Not nearly enough as much. I mean, Soviet Union around 20 million, which is a lot. 20 million people losing in a war, it's a lot. And all of those people are relatively young and in the age of making children, and and it was just pretty much huge hit on the population, on the demographics. But why I'm saying that the United States won, because Germany was paying reparations to United States until recently even for the World War II. Also, other countries were repaying for United States rebuilding their countries, like France and England. So United States was, let's say, a winner in terms of finance. And since dollar became the world reserve currency, everybody started to invest in United States stock market because it was the safest. Nobody can attack United States. Everybody knows that. You cannot attack United States. So war at least cannot disrupt this market in United States. But obviously it can disrupt it in other places. Interesting stuff. Let's do the crown, by the way. It will be interesting. You will say, but how will we do the crown in such short notice? Such short time? I will not be able to do it completely, but I will just sketch it, which will be interesting again. I have a little bit of a allergy for pollens, and now the pollens are starting to fly here in Bulgaria because it's a little bit warmer. It's always like this in the beginning of March. My nose is starting to run. I'm starting to sneeze a lot, but it's not a lot actually. It's kind of a medium. It's fine. It's pretty much fine. But sometimes in the evening I'm starting to sneeze so much I have to take some medication. Some anti-allergy medication. But I guess this is pretty common these days to have this kind of allergies, especially in the big cities with a lot of pollution and allergens. Yeah, I guess. Russia pays well. Yeah. Very hard to put on weight and not keep some weight. Yes. Hey Nico, still not convinced about Vulkan. Sorry for constantly bringing that subject up, but I'm just curious. Why do you think I'm not convinced about Vulkan since I'm using Vulkan? If I'm using Vulkan, then I'm convinced about Vulkan. I'm not convinced that it's the things that they are advertising it to be. Like much faster and everything. It's faster, but not considerably faster. I'm not convinced that it's considerably faster, yes. It's faster, though. Yeah, by the way, everybody is advertising their thing, and then when you try it actually, it turns out it's not like the AI. AI, everybody is advertising. It will kill the 2D artists. It will kill the 3D artists. Eventually, when you try to use it for actual work, it turns out that the 3D artists are still gonna remain. The 2D artists, yeah, some of them are a little bit obsolete, but the 3D artists still are not so much. But as you can see with all these wars, the overall economy is going down. And with that, the need for games overall will go down. Because games, people are playing when everything is alright. When the things are fine and they have money. During the COVID times, that was the case. People had money. People had time. Now, it's not the case. It's not the case. People will not have the money very soon. And games will not be that much created. That's why there were not so many job offers for game development these days. But when this cycle kind of goes away, then probably we'll have again the need of game developers. For now, not so much. It's just the way it is. And if this war becomes a third world war, then maybe we will not need anything after a certain amount of time. Not only games, completely anything we will not need. But we shouldn't worry about that because, you know, it will happen or it will not happen. If we worry about it or not, doesn't matter at all. Whether you worry about it or not, doesn't matter at all. So, it's better not to worry. Because if you worry too much, you may get cancer, which is not the best thing that you can get. in the world. Or it is. I don't know. You see, imagine you get cancer and you die. Imagine that. Yeah. It doesn't sound right? It doesn't sound good. But imagine that just a couple of weeks after you die, everybody dies. And they die very painfully from radiation, from the bombs and everything. So, who's the winner here? There is no winner. Like always. There is no winner. Maybe there is sometimes a winner. When you're watching a box match or UFC match or a football match, there is a clear winner usually. When there is a winner, there is a winner. When there are like when there is a draw, is draw. But usually there is a winner, clear winner. In war, clear winner. United States lost the war in Vietnam. Okay, but did Vietnam won the war? I don't know, because they lost much more people in this war than United States. Because United States, since World War II, has the most advanced weaponry, has the most advanced aviation. They're bombarding. They dropped so many bombs in Vietnam, I think more than the bombs dropped in the Second World War combined. The United States dropped more bombs in Vietnam than all the bombs in the Second World War combined. Yeah, I'm saying that. I'm not sure about that, if that's true, but it can be checked. If somebody wants to check it and tell me if I'm right. But I heard that somewhere. I haven't checked it though. So I'm saying it with a grain of salt. But either way, they killed so many Vietnamese that Vietnam won the war is not exactly what you want to say, you know. Nobody win the war. War has only losers. Winners, not so much. If you are applying to contest for making a 3D character, for example, and you win this contest, yes, you are the winner. And there is a clear winner there, but in war, it's not a clear winner in the war. Everybody losing. And the thing about the United States now is they will probably lose the war, yes. And why are they starting a war that they will actually lose? And I'm pretty convinced actually that the United States will lose this war. They cannot do the same as they did in Venezuela. Drop the helicopters and go. It's too far away from their land, and also Iran is too prepared. Iran is very militaristic, and they have a lot of weapons and a lot of military overall. So yeah, you cannot do this. But you can bombard, and this bombardment is not without a price for USA. They're losing, they say that they're losing around $1 billion a day. $1 billion that they don't have. Yeah, you say United States is the richest country in the world. How can you say they don't have it? They are living on a credit for the past I don't know how many years. They're always in minus. They're always borrowing more and more money. United States. And they cannot say we will not return it because we are the most powerful country in the world. Because if they say that, then all their obligations and all their they will worth nothing. They will be worth nothing if they say that. Nobody will ever give them money. Nobody will ever buy their papers that they're selling to gain money. So they cannot default. It's not how the world works. Okay, this guy has pretty thick neck in my case, but I will even thicker it. Make it thicker. Because we need him to be more powerful, more thick and big and strong and powerful and everything. And let's color him a little bit, why not? You can get a job anywhere in the industry right now. I would say maybe if you are a senior or creative director, you could. Yeah, probably. I have a friend here. I met him yesterday or the day before yesterday. I met him. He worked for Blizzard and other companies. He's one of the best 3D character artists in Bulgaria, hands down. His name is Sergey. I forgot his second name. But Sergey, he has hugely, very, very good portfolio and everything. And he said that the company that he was working for in the last years, they are releasing him this month. So probably he will be able to find a job eventually. Maybe not for the same amount of money or something, but a person like him, super good, very experienced, absolute psychopath, he probably will be able to find a job. I'm not worried for him that much. But if people like him even are let go, it's not looking super good. It's looking very good, but not super good. It's like the war in Iran. It's going super well. We're killing them. We're annihilating them. But they are destroying the world economy. But it's going super well. This is Trump. I cannot imitate Trump. I'm not just the imitator type, but yeah, it's him. When the AI takes over the character art at some point, I will make a political... This channel will be me. It will be the same, actually. It will be completely the same. It will be me sculpting something, talking about politics. So it will be completely the same. I will not change anything. I was about to say I will make a political channel, but obviously it is already so, yeah. But I will sculpt in the same time. Because I cannot talk without sculpting, you see. If I stop sculpting, so I have to sculpt in order to talk. That's the thing. Just yeah. Didn't Iran pass all the checks for with the flying colors too? Probably yes. Hi Nico, sorry for the interruption. When I sculpt the head, it always seems too wide or too narrow. How can I improve this problem? You can go with the big grab brush and make it wider or narrower the way you want it. Very good. As a fresher, how much should I wait to land a job in an AAA studio? If you wait, you will never land a job in an AAA studio. If you work hard, very hard nowadays, maybe you can land a job in AI Studio in, let's say, in about 10,000 hours. You will say, but how much years, how many years or months are this? It depends on how much time you put. If you put 10 to 12 hours every day, without exception, then you will be able to make 3,000 hours in only 1 year, which not many people can do, because it's psychopathic, it's very difficult. I know a couple of people that have done this, like Gabriel Guerra, for example, and one of my friends here in Bulgaria, but not many people can do it. But if you want, you can. I wouldn't suggest it, actually. It's not healthy. But you will be good in no time. You've been watching Professor Jiang, exactly this guy. I'm sick of being poor and I pick sculpting out of all things I could get better at some... you know, if you are doing this for the money, it will be hard. Because I don't think there are too much money in sculpting nowadays. Except for some, like, if you're doing sculpting for some toy companies, or if you're doing sculpting for some movies, or if you're doing sculpting for, I don't know, for what. Some things like this. Of course, also for games, but as we say, there are not too many job offers nowadays for games. People who are working for the game industry, they're still working for the game industry. Some of them are laid off, of course, as I told you. Even very, very good people, like very amazing artists, are laid off. So it's not looking pretty. It's not looking pretty at all. I don't want to be a bad prophet here. That's why I'm not profiting anything. I'm not saying that... I'm saying something. That Iran will lose... not Iran. United States will lose this war with Iran. And Israel also. Because, you see, nobody can put boots on the ground in Iran. They only can do the same that they did in Afghanistan. They did the same in Syria. They did the same... They are paying for some people who are against the government, or they are against the politics of Iran. They're groups, fanatics, like ISIS, and they're paying because, you see, United States, I think you all know that United States created ISIS. ISIS were fine. They were like a small group or something, but they financed them so much with weapons and with money to wage their wars, so Americans will not die, that those groups became very powerful, and the same will happen now in Iran. They will try to finance some groups to come from different sides of Iran and to make problems. Whether they will succeed is a different story, because Iran is a little bit of a different country than the others. They have much bigger military. They have much bigger, and they are this mountain state. It's difficult to wage war in this. It's similar to Afghanistan, actually. I would guess. I don't know, because I've never been there. But I would guess that's similar. And in Afghanistan, the Russians, I think, were in Afghanistan, and they they didn't cope well in there. It was their Vietnam, I think. So it's very difficult for a modern, super well-equipped army to wage war in these mountainous territories with partisans hiding, ambushing. It's also super expensive, because you see, you have helicopters, Apache helicopters, you have planes, you have cargo planes, huge, they're delivering tanks, whatever you want, everything is fine. And suddenly, a couple of guys with rocket launchers, which cost like 16,000 or 60,000 even dollars, which is nothing in terms of war. Even less, it depends. But let's say they're with tracking missiles, and they just came out of the cave, shoot their rockets, come back, and with the cost of one rocket, which is super cheap, I mean relatively cheap to a plane or something, your planes, your Apache helicopters, your other stuff is going down, with cost millions, maybe even billions of dollars, and you're like, but what happened? I'm the richest country in the world. Why is this happening to me? Because it's asymmetric warfare. You cannot do this. Just impossible. Yeah. Don't worry, be happy. Yeah. Heineken, I have one query. You use default UI for sculpting or have customized it as per your need? I use default. Bulgaria versus Malta war is very intense. Yes, very intense actually, and it's actually three-part war. It's Bulgaria versus Malta versus the Vatican. Three huge countries in war with each other, and it's very bad. It's very bad, but we are winning, of course. If you ask me, we are winning. If you ask the people from Malta, they are winning. But it's a huge war. Nobody's talking about this war because it's a secret war. We are waging this war only in our heads. Sometimes, very rarely, maybe when we're dreaming, and it's brutal, just brutal war. Every country has been living on credit for the past however many years. That's actually true, but America is living on very huge credit. I mean, very huge. Yeah. Total U.S. bombs tonnage dropped during World War II is 2 million tons. Vietnam War, 7 million tons. So 3.5 times more. Thank you very much for this. So I was right. So maybe the guy who told me in the YouTube video yesterday about this, that they dropped more bombs in Vietnam than the whole World War II, is true. It's true. 3 times more. Nice. Nico, why are you bald? Genetics, probably. Or, yeah, I don't want to sound alarming to you guys, but too much masturbation. You see, when you masturbate too much, and since I masturbate very rapidly and violently, and sometimes the ejaculate is ending on my forehead. It cannot end on the back of my head, right? So it's ending on here, and it's burning the hair follicles. It's brutal. I know it's bad, and it makes me kind of. But I know everybody masturbate. It's normal. It's normal, especially the male. I mean, for the female, it's but male, like 100%. If you are a male and not masturbate, tell me in the chat. I guess everybody will respect you for that, and will say that you are a complete liar. I mean, yeah. I'm starting with Nomad Sculpt on iPad. Do you recommend some of your courses on speed sculpt video if you're a beginner starting Nomad Sculpt? Yeah, you can, the basic principles of sculpting that I'm using, you can use them in Nomad Sculpt without any issue. I was sculpting in Nomad Sculpt. Actually, I was experimenting with Nomad Sculpt when I was traveling with a plane from Sofia to Milano, Bergamo airport, but whatever. If you are not familiar with Italy, you will not know Bergamo. Milano, you know, probably. Milano is one of the capitals of the fashion and everything. So, my point. I was traveling with the plane. It was 1 week ago, and 2 hours. And I was bored. There is no internet. I cannot play my games. So I was bored, and I opened Nomad Sculpt, and I tried to do a full human. And I did it. It's not super pretty. I might try to show it to you. I don't know if it will happen. But let's try to see it. Let's try. Can you see my phone? Okay, you can. Let's see. I will open now Nomad Sculpt on my phone. And this is actually Galaxy Ultra S23 Ultra. So it's a 3-year-old phone. And what I managed to do is this crap. You cannot actually see it too much because the camera is like making it bad, but it is no. It's not super good. I mean, it's kind of difficult. Okay, let's make myself bigger and see if we can do this. No, I'm trying to make myself okay. You see, it's nothing to brag about. But it's not super bad either. So I did this for in Nomad Sculpt in my phone because I have a pen. There is a pen with pen pressure and everything. So it's pretty cool. You have it always in your pocket. You can sculpt everywhere. So it's cool. But I did it for 1 hour and 10 minutes or something. So if I spend more time, I probably will be able to refine it further, but it's pretty uncomfortable when you don't have a keyboard. for me at least. It's just I'm so used to have a keyboard and work with the keyboard that I'm very like frustrated. But since I was even more frustrated with boredom, I just was persistent and did it. Art and politics is a good combo. Yeah, thank you very much. Shut it down. Which, I don't know. Heineko, will you do a stylized anatomy course for anime semi-realistic models? There's a model on Pixiv I want to show you, but I don't know how I can do it's NSFO. Go to my Discord server, which is in the description of this video, if you can find it, because some people can't, obviously. But it is there. It's in the description of this video, I'm sure. You can click and go to the Discord server, then you can post it, not in the... you can private message me, of course, or DM, which is direct message. We were saying PM back in the days, private message, now it's DM. Maybe someday it will be something else, who knows. I'm using Blender 5 or 5.0 right now. I should use 5.1, but yeah. Do you still get jobs in the game industry? Not too much. Captain, the trees are speaking. Vietnamese again. That's from some joke, yeah. What focal length do you recommend for sculpting generally, both head and body, as well as polymodeling? Around 100 is fine. First time catching you live, thank you. If you are liking it, I mean, first time catching you live with caps lock does it mean that it's first time catching you live, it's gross? I don't know, maybe. Oh god, this is hitting too close to home. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Anytime you think you have an idea of what Nico will say next, he surprises you. That's the whole idea of the thing, you know. Has anyone ever told you like a more confident Ted from Scrubs? You look like a more confident Ted from Scrubs. Scrubs. I was watching this this TV series back in the days. It was super nice, very cheerful and nice. But Ted, I don't remember actually. Who was Ted? 8-9 times a day. 8-9 times a day is huge. I mean, my record is 7, so be careful. Sometimes more if I'm feeling frisky. Ooh, that's yeah. Put hand behind. Yeah, I have to, you know, do this, you know, when I finish. I'm like, oh, so it goes like here. But be careful, by the way, it's very serious. So don't let it go into your eyes. It's very bad. Once, one of my friends, he came into the gym and his eyes, one of his eye was red. I mean, the white of his eye was completely red. And I was like, what's happened to your eye? He said, I was, you know, with a girl and she do a hand job or whatever. And when I finished, into the eye, into his own eye, he finished a couple of drops. And he probably didn't think to immediately go and wash it out with water, with a lot of water. And it was like at least a week his eye was red. It's not pretty. I have a pen. I have an apple. An Apple pen. You should use iPad for Nomad. It's very nice program for sculpt, like a beginner, but I want Blender for iPad. I don't have an iPad, but if I had, I would use it. Nico is super rich. He has phone with pen. That's the thing, you know. I don't have an iPad, but phone with pen. Super rich. Had to swing by due to the title. Awesome stuff. Thank you very much. Nico, have you ever done 3D animation? No, I haven't. Can you do a full video about UV mapping and how to transfer the model to Substance Painter? I need to learn about how to transfer a model to other software. So, there is a video in this channel which is about a cartoon Tyrannosaur. So, for 1 hour and a half, I did a high poly, low poly, UVs, transfer to Substance Painter, the high poly and the low poly, baking, and transfer back to Blender. 1 hour and a half. There is no speed up or anything. So it's pretty nice. You can find it in this channel, in the live videos. It's let's see how this video was called. No problem, let's see it. Why not? I go to channel content in the other monitor I'm using it, and there it's a dinosaur. It's called dinosaur. Let's try to search. Dino, no, T-Rex. UV. If you search for UV, the video is called High Poly, Low Poly UVs in Blender and then baking in under 1 hour and 10 minutes. So 1 hour and 10 minutes. The video itself is 2 hours and 34 minutes, but I think I did it for 1 hour and 10 minutes, the whole thing, and then it was just other stuff. I'm not sure what I did. So let's see it actually. Let's see this video, how it goes. So we have a record-breaking attendance now. 50-something people. This guy is speaking too much. Now, we start with the sphere, and in about, let's say, 25 about half an hour for the high poly. Now, half an hour for the high poly. Then, low poly is pretty quick because I'm using the quad remesh, and then fix some things. Then UVs, I'm doing UVs, and then I am fixing some stuff, and then I'm exporting to Substance Painter. Now we're using in Substance Painter less than 1 hour into this. We're using Substance Painter. Problems and stuff, baking, and then we come back to Blender and we do render. And this is the low poly, I think. Yeah, this is 34,000 triangles, the whole thing, with texture, with normal map and everything. So yeah, it's not the best quality, of course, the whole thing, because for 1 hour and 10 minutes you cannot get the best quality ever, but you can see the whole process in this video. So I think it's pretty useful, and it has 33k views, which means that it's one of the most viewed videos in this channel. Not the most. The most viewed videos is the guy with the 4 arms, which has Goro from Mortal Kombat, has 700,000 views or something. I'm not sure. Around that. I'm unable to DM PM in the Discord. I think you got it set to friends only. So you send me a friend request and then you do it. No problem. I accept almost all the friend requests anyway, so it's fine. But you can be more faster with phone because it's tiny and you reduce the distance cursor starts and end point. That's true, but also in the phone you have so little space for working because you have all the interface around, and it's very, very clucked. It's not very good with the phone. I guess with the iPad will be better. Hello Nico, the fact that there are no jobs in the 3D industry demoralized me, and I feel like sculpting is a waste of time. Jobs where, when? That's a good question, and if I knew the answer of this question, I would tell you. But I actually don't know this the answer of this question. There are jobs in the 3D industry, definitely, but only for those who are best of the best. If you are not good enough, it will be difficult. It's not impossible, actually, because I'm sure that there are some indie studios here and there looking for some people, but they usually will be looking for people who can do everything. Characters, environment, even animations, rigging, everything. Because the indie studio cannot afford to have separate character artists, separate riggers, separate everything. They would want one person for all the 3D, most likely. So be careful with that. This is from Thailand, and I don't know how it's called. It's Vapex 2-in-1. So you are there is something like oils, some oils inside, and they are very powerful. And when you sniff it, it's like opening your sinuses a little bit. And they're using it all the time in Thailand, and it's pretty cheap in there. It's like, I don't know, 50 cents or something. So if you have tiny graphic tablets, it's the same. Probably, yeah. Can you share the link here, please? You are super awesome. I don't know if I can share links here. You mean for this? Let me try to share the link in the chat. I can share links. Yeah, most people cannot share links in the chat, but I can. So yeah, it's cool. I'm from India. How about opportunities in the collectible industry? I love high poly sculpting, but I don't want to do retopo, UV, and all. You're not alone in this. I mean, every character artist that I know don't like to do retopo, UVs, and everything. They want to do only high polys, me included. But if you want to be a versatile artist, and if you want to be able to tap on many job markets or job offers, you have to be able to do both, all of these things, even maybe rigging, animation. If you can do all of this and you're proficient in all of this stuff, you will be more likely to find a job. If you are just a high poly sculptor, you have to be probably top 500 or top even 100 sculptors in the world right now to find a job in whatever industry you're trying to, like collectibles. Retop is difficult. Yeah. I'm the one who shared this bunch of orc photos on your Discord. I'm from Sri Lanka, based in Finland. So yeah, Sri Lanka, Finland, pretty close to each other, yeah. I bet you go on foot from Sri Lanka to Finland, like, regularly. Oh, I want to go to Sri Lanka, you go to foot. You travel, you walk there. It's difficult, I know. But yeah, this was from the Discord, actually. And since you posted it, it's from you, yes. Heineko, do you consider sculpting concept from the drawing channel in Discord? Not really active much, but just happen to see it when I look at the Discord. From the drawing channel, why not? Yeah, it's a good idea. If I see a nice drawing that I want to sculpt, I probably can do it. And we can do it. By the way, I forgot to put the weekly sculpt challenge last week. The crocodile with the possum. Amazing. Nico, can you do detailed 3D character in Blender like in ZBrush? Thank you. Mostly yes, but if you want to do pores and other stuff, it's a little bit more difficult because Blender is actually a real 3D program. It's not like ZBrush. ZBrush is 2.5D program, so it's cheating a little bit. That's why Blender is... it cannot support that many million polygons. So if you want to do pores, it's better to do them in the normal map or the displacement map, for that matter. In the Substance Painter, for example. Can you do a triple AAA Mortal Kombat character sculpt with retopology? I can, but they have to pay me a lot. I'm from South Africa. Good for you, I guess. Because you are far away from most wars that are famous right now. I'm sure in Africa there are wars that nobody is talking about. Because America is not in those wars. But I've heard that in Africa, not South Africa of course, but in Africa it's pretty tense in some areas. You don't want to go there. It's like, amazing model. Yeah, it's normal, I would say. Also looking forward to see a hard surface model like a mech robo or something. You will not see that from me. First, hard surface is a little bit slower. It's easier to do than sculpting because you don't require to know anatomy and stuff like this. But it is slower because you have to go, vertex by vertex and edge by edge. That's why you don't see this in this channel that much, hard surface. I usually sculpt because it's much more fun to watch and it's much more faster to do for me. Oh, the allergy is starting to hit a little bit. Send a friend request. Also, Nico, what's your favorite sport? I know Bulgaria has produced some really good footballers. Yeah, I don't watch football at all. My favorite sport, you may say, it is UFC or boxing, this kind of martial arts. Although I don't watch that also recently. I don't watch any sports. I try to stay active myself without actually practicing any sports. Just doing some push-ups, pull-ups, some squats, some burpees, and that's mostly it. And I think with this, you can kind of support your musculature. Maybe you will not get super muscular, but it's not healthy to be super muscular also. Even if you are super muscular only without any steroids and natural, also it's not super healthy to have huge muscles, super huge. So I'm having huge muscles myself. Yeah, I have them. I have to say, I will show you now. I always want to show my, yeah, they're not super huge, of course, but they're good enough for me. I am, bear in mind, I'm 1 meter and 93 centimeters tall. So I'm not the shortest guy around. This is, I think, 6'4", if I'm not mistaken. So I am pretty tall, and I'm weighing about 102-3 kilograms. Since I stopped sugar, I dropped like 3 kilograms at least, which is super cool because now my belly is not that full. I don't feel that full and inflated. I stopped sugar when it was in the middle of January, so now it's almost 2 months. Almost 2 months without sugar. I'm not saying I didn't eat any sugar in that time. All the sugar that I've eaten since January 15, so almost 2 months ago, all the sugar that I've eaten for this almost 2 months is less than the sugar that I used to eat before that in a day. So imagine that. A lot of sugar I was eating. I was eating at least 100 grams of sugar every day. But you see, one waffle is around 35 grams. One waffle has around 50 grams of sugar, 50% sugar in it. So from 35 grams, let's say it has 15, 16 grams of sugar, one waffle. So I was eating around 10, maybe more, sometimes more than 10 waffles every day. So 15 grams of sugar, one waffle, 10 waffles, 150 grams of sugar. Amazing. Every day. Almost no exception. And I don't know how I'm alive. Because this was continuously for at least 2 or 3 years. And I don't know. But maybe I was in the brink of some kind of heart attack or something. I don't know. But I was always trying to stay active also. So maybe this helped. Yeah. I'm sculpting the croc now. Good for you. Croc is a very nice concept. Nico, what's your thought on Maxon's new AI features for ZBrush? I haven't checked them out actually because I'm not that interested in ZBrush, so I don't get notifications for ZBrush. Hello from wherever my computer is. That's interesting thought, yeah. Why did you stop making ZBrush videos? I managed to get it through the back door. Would love more character videos. Because Blender has much more player base than ZBrush. So if I'm making Blender videos, much more people will watch me. Now, if I'm making ZBrush video right now, no more than like 30 people, 35 people will watch me. When I'm doing Blender stuff, sometimes 100, 120 people can watch at one time. Now 78 people because I'm just talking, I'm not sculpting. So people want me to sculpt and talk. I'm just talking right now. So people are like, I don't want to be a part of this. Close. You look like young Kohler. Many people are saying that I look like many people. But you see, I have a face that's not unique. There are many people with big nose and bald head and probably one eyebrow, I don't know. All of these things together, only the guy from Electric Boom, of course. He is the same as me. We are twins. But not exactly. I'm much more pretty than him, but still. What were your most popular clients for sculpting jobs? I don't think I had some popular clients. I had some companies that are just companies, not like Blizzard or Activision. No, I didn't have that. That's why I don't say anywhere in my portfolio or whatever, I don't say anywhere that I have worked for some big companies. The only popular company that I've worked for 15 years was Gameloft. And I was there, I was working for this company. I was their employee. Yeah. If you can, if you have time, please post here a shortcut images in Blender. Shortcut images. In Blender C, some of them are forgettable. Yeah, shortcut images. What do you mean shortcut images? I don't know. The shortcuts for Blender. But shortcuts for Blender, I think I show them, and I think I made a list of them in one of my courses with the mouse, I think, if I'm not mistaken. If somebody knows, if somebody remembers, the mouse course, which is absolute beginner Blender course, did I make a sheet with the most useful Blender shortcuts? I'm pretty sure I did. There are many shortcuts in Blender and some of them are very unique. If you can share them, and I believe it will help to others too. Exactly. How to earn a living as a 3D artist. It's very hard these days to earn a living as a 3D artist. If you asked this question, let's say 5 years ago, during the COVID times, I will say, whatever you do as a 3D character artist or 3D artist, you will earn money, no problem. Nowadays, is not exactly like that. I'm earning my money only from selling my courses for anatomy and everything. So if it was not for my courses, I don't know. I probably will be super poor. But I'm earning my money only from the courses, not from YouTube. From YouTube, I'm not getting almost any money. But from the courses, I'm getting the money that I can live with. For other 3D artists, they are doing freelance. They are working for some company, like freelancers, but for a long period of time. They have something like a contract, like freelance contract, I don't know. Some people are relying only on freelance, which in this day and age is almost impossible to achieve. The best bet is to find a job in the industry, in the game industry, in the film industry, in the collectibles industry, if you can. You will be able to find a job in the game industry or collectibles industry or film industry only if you have superb portfolio, something like the best. If you have something like which is like middle ground, not super good, then you may be able to find a job, but you have to search very hard. You have to search like for many days and weeks and maybe months, and maybe somewhere some indie company will need a guy just like you. But I say this is probably difficult. Very. Based on your experience, is it possible to find a job in concept art nowadays? Not necessarily 3D stuff, maybe indie or small studios. Maybe yes, but only if you are using the AI. What I mean by that is nowadays people are expecting the 2D artists to use the AI so they can make much more, they can be much more productive if they are working for some studio. So instead of making one concept for 1 week, you have to make one concept for 1 hour or 1 day, because you will do something with AI, then you will, put it in Photoshop and make the changes necessary. For this, you need to be proficient in Photoshop, you need to be proficient in drawing and all the other stuff that the 2D artists need. But you will be much better because than a normal AI artist, for example, because you will be able to implement changes very easily by just making them yourself, not relying on AI to make these changes, and AI sometimes cannot make them, just cannot. Technico Bellic, you are the best teacher. Sometimes I am. Sometimes I'm the worst. You have to be careful. Because you see, all these influencers, everybody that you watch on YouTube that are telling you things, like me, I'm telling you things. I'm telling you sugar is bad for you. Vegetables and fruits are generally good for you. Fruits, you have to be careful also with the fruits. If you eat a lot of fruits like, for example, oranges. Oranges are very high in sugar and not very high in fibers. So a lot of oranges could be bad. I stopped eating waffles, chocolates, pastries, whatever. But I'm eating oranges and tangerines. So and grapefruit. So I am not completely stopped the sugar. I have still it's sugar from fruits, but don't be fooled. Sugar from fruits is absolutely the same as sugar from anything else. The only thing that fruit has that the waffle don't have is fibers, which are making the sugar absorb into the bloodstream a little bit slower. Not as fast, not with this kind of a punch as when you're eating just normal sugary like a waffle or chocolate. And especially not as fast as when you're drinking it. Because when you're drinking sugar, it's going to your bloodstream the fastest. So the spike is huge. And these spikes, people say that are dangerous. But all these things that I'm saying, you have to take them with a grain of sugar. The idea is that everybody is making mistakes. I have my information from sources. Those sources, some of them may be corrupt, maybe not very nice. I'm saying Trump is a bad guy. I've seen footage of Trump lying and manipulating and just acting like a 4-year-old that they don't buy ice cream. All these things I've seen, but maybe they are out of context. Maybe people are trying to make me think that Trump is the bad guy and actually he is the best guy ever. But you see, countries, hegemon countries like America, like now China, maybe Russia, India, they cannot be good countries. They cannot make good to the other countries. Wherever America has stepped on with military, they have ruined this country. Libya, Afghanistan, Iraq. Now Iran, we'll see, but they're starting to ruin it. Russia also. Wherever Russia is going, they will ruin. Those are empires or empire wannabes. And they cannot do good for other countries. They're only doing good for themselves. And that's absolutely normal. All the empires in the world ever have done this. Like the English Empire, it was the English Empire is taking, for example, India for a certain amount of time. And they are sucking everything, resources, money, gold, whatever they can from the countries that they are occupying or that they are owning or whatever, how to call it, that they are in this empire. United States is no different than any other empire. Russia is trying to be an empire also. India at some point will probably rise to be an empire because it's the most populated country in the world. They have huge amounts of people who are working, so they're getting it done. China, of course, is already a superpower. So yeah, you have to say whatever they say, whatever America say, whatever India say, whatever China say, whatever Russia say, that we will go there, we will make it democracy, we will denazify the country, like Russia say, we will do this. No, you are going there because you're your own interest, and you're trying to. You don't care about the country that you are invading. You don't care about the people in this country. You only care about your people, for them to be happy, to choose you again, so you can get rich or powerful or whatever. Those kind of things. Interesting stuff. At least they got some vitamins. Yeah, the fruits got some vitamins, but everybody that I'm listening to right now, like for example, there is one channel which is called Viva Longevity. Longevity, yeah. Viva Longevity is a guy who is speaking and he's showing footage of other influencers, of researchers. He's reading a lot of books and researches about stuff, and I think his view and the views that he's showing in his channel are probably the best from all the other influencers that I've watched. Health influencers, all the doctors that are speaking stuff. But everybody is saying sugar is bad. Everybody is saying not everybody is saying trans fat are bad, although they usually are. And many influencers are saying, I've eaten 100 eggs for 30 days and look what happened. And they're saying nothing happened, I feel great, I gained a couple of weights, I gained some cholesterol, but overall I'm fine. My triglycerides are through the roof, but I'm fine. Yeah, but you see, you're not fine. The idea is that everybody can lie to you, intentionally or non-intentionally. I don't know why Trump is lying to everybody and to himself. Probably it's both, intentionally and non-intentionally, because he's used to it. Who knows? Yeah. I'm very sad that the greatest country in the world, which United States was ruined by this. And why I'm sad about that? United States is empire. If Bulgaria had petrol, my country, if my country had petrol, and they're not obeying America, and they're not selling petrol for United States dollars, and they're not doing what America said, probably America would invade Bulgaria without any issue. They will bombard us, maybe my family will die, and I'm aware of that. But American culture is all over the place, It's everywhere. And, these heroic things that Americans are going and they're saving people, they're doing only good, which is never the case with the military, because military is not one organism. It's many people doing whatever they want. And when you are in the military and you have these psychopathic things in your head, for example, American troops go in Vietnam. Americans, before they go to Vietnam and while they are in Vietnam, they're told that Vietnamese, they're not exactly people. And this makes it much easier to kill. This is the same as the Nazis were talking to their troops when they go to kill Russians, when they go to kill Polish people, when they go to kill Jews, because they're not exactly people. And dehumanizing the enemy is a tactic that was used probably till the beginning of time. They're using it probably today too. I'm not sure. But most likely yes, because those tactics, they don't change too much. And that's why the Americans in Vietnam, most likely, some of them were good, some of them were decent people, but some of them, I'm pretty sure, were awful people that were shooting civilians just for fun, that were raping women. That's always what happens into war. It's normal. So you cannot say American military is super good, other militaries, they're doing atrocities. Everybody is doing atrocities in war. That's even Bulgarians, Serbians will know, because Bulgarians, I think it's very famous in Serbia right now. Serbia is a close country to Bulgaria. That back in the day, like 100 years ago, Bulgarians were doing a lot of atrocities in Serbia, because there were some military conflicts here in the Balkans, and our military went to Serbia to whatever, and they were doing some bad things there. But these things happen in war always, everywhere. That's absolutely inevitable. There will always be bad people, and they will get advantage that they are in the war. There will be no consequences. That's why they will do whatever. When there are no consequences, everybody will be much worse. Now, you go out and you are seeing a beautiful girl, for example. You don't go there and rape her, because there will be consequences. You will be locked, you will be sued, it will be awful for you. But if you know there will be no consequences, how many people will say, no, it's not decent? Probably some, yes. But some will say, fuck it, it's fine. Yeah. I don't see a better sculptor on YouTube. Oh, there are many better sculptors. You have to watch closely. If you make videos, you can become huge. Yeah, probably. If I start making videos in YouTube, yeah. like with clickbait and stuff. Yeah, I'm not making videos with clickbait, definitely, because I told you I don't like lying. I just cannot. And I think the clickbait is lying. Maybe I will try sometime just for fun. This video, for example, is the opposite of clickbait. I say another boring Orc Bust, and nobody will come. You see? Huh. Okay. Thank you for your answer. Currently, I've been experimenting with AI for a while now, but the market seems to be saturated anyway with people like me, it seems. Like, competition is real still. Exactly, I guess. I don't know if that's true. Japan had the biggest economic boom in history after US nuked them. But Germany also had a lot of economic boom after the Second World War. So, after the Second World War, the countries that were the most powerful in the war, like Japan and Germany, because Germany was in the brink of taking over all the Europe if it was not for Hitler and his stupid attack on Russia. You know, when you attack Russia, you know that you will lose. It's always. Nobody wants to attack Russia in their territory. It's stupid. It's just stupid. You cannot do this. Whatever. The idea is that he did that, he lost the war. But what was the cost for the Russians? Yeah, 20 million dead Russians. Not the best. But still, they won the war. The idea is that Germany was the most powerful country in the World War II. No doubt about it. Japan was probably the second most powerful country in the world. Why? Because their people are very disciplined. When they have a goal, they just do everything. They just put 100%. And that's not true for all the countries. That's true for Germany. That's true for Japan. And that's why, after the World War ended, their goal was to rebuild. Their goal was to make the countries great again. And they did that, which is great. Good for them. For example, our country, we consider Bulgarians, in my country, we are Bulgarians, I'm Bulgarian, we consider ourselves lazy. We don't want to work too much. The Greek people are similar to us. South Italy people are similar to us. All the most South nations are more like, mañana, like the South Spain also a little bit. But Germany, come on, yeah, they're working hard. That's why it's worth it to talk to the actual people, not listen to USA News, and also not listen to Al Jazeera News either. Yeah, but you can listen to both sides. It's very easy to understand what's happening if you listen to both sides, which is difficult because listening to one side is making YouTube to feed you more from this side, and eventually you will not hear from the other side ever again. I don't know. Information bias, I think it's called. So the algorithm in YouTube will feed you only the content that you are watching. And if you watch only one side like me, you will be fed only this side, which is bad. I know. But you have to know that whatever one side is saying, there are two sides and they're separated. This is the middle. Usually, the truth is somewhere in the middle. Usually. So one side is saying, like, they're doing this. Dial it down and you will find the relative truth. But the truth sometimes doesn't matter that much. Especially if you're watching the truth on Truth Social, the Trump network. Because Truth Social is Truth Social, social network. Most Persian people I have talked to are very happy about this. Really? They're very happy about bombarding their country. I wouldn't be. I mean, let's say America decided to take our government down. Although our government, we took it down with protests. Hundreds of thousands of people go to a protests a couple of months ago in Bulgaria, and we take the government down. Now, because our government is democratic relatively, so it got down pretty easily. In other countries, it's not like that. But if Americans come and bombard the capital where I live in, they kill people, And eventually they will kill children. That's inevitable. They will kill many civilians. That's absolutely inevitable when you bombard the capital, right? I will start to become mad. I will say, okay, what the fuck? And if, maybe, even, if they come by foot and there is a resistance, I may join the resistance. Even if I agree with taking down the government, but this is not exactly the way. Bomb everything. I don't think this is the way. And normal people will get mad. Normal people, especially if I've heard that, I'm not sure, but since they are Muslims and they may even turn to jihad in order to protect their own country, which if like 90 million people go to jihad, yeah, some of them are children, some of them are female, of course, but let's say 40 million people say, okay, jihad, which is war to the complete destruction of either us or the enemy. I don't think that's good for anybody. But yeah, so bombing, I wouldn't be very happy if they bomb my country. Whoever it is. Doesn't matter if it's my favorite country in the world is bombing my country. I'm very happy. No, I would not be happy. Yeah, we should have never been in Vietnam. Yeah, probably yes. I farted. That's a good job. Good job. Well done. Very well done. Nico, if the Third World War happened at your current age, would you have to enlist or are you too old already? I'm not too old to fight in the Third World War, but what will be the reason for me to fight? I mean, let's say World War III comes tomorrow. I cannot think now for a reason for me to fight in this war. No. If another country invade my country, for example, Turkey, let's say Turkey invade my country, which is absolutely possible because Turkey, we are all in NATO, yes, but Turkey is much more powerful military than Bulgaria, much more equipment, much more modern, and overall they are also a lot more experienced in war than Bulgaria. Much bigger country also. So they invade Bulgaria. Why should I fight them? Since it will be useless. We will die. There's no point. So I will say, yeah, there's no point fighting these people because we will lose anyway. So I will try to flee maybe. If I can't flee, then I will have to fight. So there are two options, flee or fight. If I cannot flee, I will fight. That's inevitable. Echo chamber. Where is it? Because we didn't require reparations like after World War I, but helped the Germans and Japanese rebuild after. I think there were reparations from Japan and from Germany after World War II, but also they received help rebuilding, but also they paid reparations. It was like, I don't know exactly how they did it. Well, guess you answered my question already. Okay, maybe this news is fake, but a lot of Persians here in USA that have family there say it's true. What is true? It's true that they are liking the bombardments in Iran. I don't know. If they are like it, that's cool. But I don't know. Yeah, we have to end this now because it's getting too much talking, not so much sculpting. I've done this in this amount of time, which was like hour and something. I was planning to color it, but I just didn't feel like it. I colored it here, just before the sculpt. I did this for I don't know how much time. I didn't measure the time. I did this and I said, okay, this is possible. And then I did this in the stream because I was talking too much, not sculpting that much. So yeah, this was one time that the sculpt in the stream was worse than the sculpt that I did before the stream. Because before the stream, I was listening to some podcasts, I was just sculpting, just in the zone, without speaking too much. But when I start speaking, you see, the things are not that nice. The US bombed the oil refinery in the city with 10 million people. This could lead to toxic rainfall, causing cancer and chronic illness. Same as happened in Kuwait. Yes, definitely. But they don't care. That was stupid. Actually, Israel did, and Trump is pissed about it. Yeah. Should we just go at the remote region and live peacefully as poor farmer? That's a good idea. I mean, basically, I think if you go to New Zealand, which is pretty far away from everything, maybe you will be fine even in a nuclear war. But the nuclear winter, you see, if all the nuclear bombs in the world are detonated, maybe we will have nuclear winter all over the globe. And then only inhabitable place probably will be the equator, if it is even inhabitable. So I don't know what to tell you. The idea is that if there is nuclear winter and everything dies, and there is no internet, there is no connection between all the people in the world like now, I don't know if it will be worth it to live. Not sure about that overall. For the humanity overall. Sometimes I'm wondering of those American movies. They are saving the world, saving humanity. And that's why? Why are they doing this? I mean, that's a huge thing to save humanity. I don't know. We are doing so much harm to this earth with our problems, with all the wars that are doing because we are measuring our dicks. Wars are usually because of measuring dicks, that's normal. And usually men are waging the wars. Not always, but usually. US-Israel, yes. The face is better the sculpt that you did in the life. But it depends. It's needed to not let Israel do whatever they want. US needs to not let Israel... You see, I think that there are lobbies for everything in United States. But the Israel lobby is huge. Also very powerful because they're rich. And when they say something to President Trump, when they asked him to do something, most likely he is doing it. Because they probably are rewarding him somehow. Maybe they can promise him the peace prize. Maybe they can promise him something else. But anyway, he is very corrupted. So he can be very easy manipulated. So he can do a lot of stupid things like he's doing already. A corrupted person is a person that can do anything. It's super unpredictable. Whatever the guy who is paying the money or, giving him something is asking him to do, he probably will do it. And that's a huge issue. It's not a free president of America thinking with his own head. He's thinking with his ass probably, or with his part of the brain that's saying only money, 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 and it's not thinking exactly. That's Trump. Anyway, don't ban me. I still love your channel and your courses. I just think more Persians will have a very difficult opinion than you about this war. We're about to see. Only maybe young Persians are for this war. But you see, even young Persians, if you see the other wars that the United States has waged over the years with the pretext of democratizing the countries, then you will know that this war is never gonna be good for Iran. Never. It's gonna only be bad for Iran. If you watch Iraq, Syria, Libya, you will see. Now, the main thing that the United States will do, and already probably doing, is to push some military things, military formations like ISIS or different ones. Maybe they will create new ones or support some old ones which are not very well famous. And they will push them to go and make problems in Iran, which is never good for the normal people. And maybe at some point they will take over the government. And if somebody like ISIS takes over the government, probably the things in Iran will be much worse than the Ayatollah. Even than the Ayatollah. this guy that they killed. I don't know. Just speculating. We can just speculate now. We can say this, we can say that. Nobody knows. So see you guys in the next one, which hopefully we will do something much more beautiful, much more nice. Like the last time. I'm happy with the result last time with the crocodile. Actually, it's in this file. The crocodile stream is here. By the way, this crocodile, I have to... I worked on it a little bit after the stream. But I plan to 3D print it, so I have to connect the tail and refine it a little bit more. And I always watch it when I'm doing it for 3D print. I watch it like this, without any paint, because the paint is distracting from the forms. The forms are nice. They have to be nice. So a little bit of work here, connecting the tail, making sure that this is smooth transition here, making sure that this here in the top is a smooth transition in the beginning. A lot of things. I have to just spend some time and work on this, and it will be a nice 3D print for my collection, which is getting pretty huge. I have many figurines.